Okay, hi everyone. This is part 3, and we're going to take on the Duke's Archives, which sadly will start with the Duke's skip. So a few things about the bits coming up. We're going to roll. Okay, so first thing, we're going to get the Crystal Halberd from the Mimic. We do that because our Blacksmith Giant Hammer doesn't do a huge amount of crit damage on the riposte for Gwyn. So we're going to use the Crystal Halberd instead. While we're waiting for the Mimic to die, I use this as an opportunity to put my robes back on, just because the Crystal Hollows in the Duke's Archives are absolutely brutal at times. So we want to, first of all, we've got the 2 boars to get past. So for the first boar, if you can, you want to roll through him. So the way you do that is run up to him, keep it at full pace, and make sure you have your shield up so when you tap circle, you'll roll. And you want to try and roll through an angle because you want to minimize the distance you're rolling. Yep, so I kind of mess it up there. I get nervous and I roll too early. But you should be able to roll through him and come out the other side, and you basically use your iframes to get through his attack. With the other guy, just go on the outside and through you go. Now, if you want to kill the boars so you can use this bonfire, hide in that little corner before you get on the lift, and they'll get stuck between the pillar and the lift, and then you can just lay into them. So I think it's only 2 or 3 R1s to kill them, but you need to be a bit careful because they'll do loads of damage, and that allows you to light the other bonfire there if you don't want to run from the Analondo bonfire every time. There's a guy on the right behind the door, so make sure you hug the door on the left as you go through there, otherwise he can jump out and hit you in the back. You can go around the bookcase if you're worried about going on the near side like I've just done. And if you're running at full pelt, that last archer at the top of the stairs will never hit you. It takes him too long to string his bow. So next, this is a good time to pop the Soul Sif. Let's talk about the Duke skip. So the way I do the Duke skip, I do it the same way as Kamal does it. So we activate the lift, we run against the wall for 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and then you roll off onto the banister. Walk down and then roll. So there's an awful lot of guides online showing you how to do the Duke skip. Just ignore that bit that just happened. So I think there's a lot of tutorials on how to do it. I just copied it from Kamal's world record runs, and I found that to be the most consistent way. I didn't like the method of using the of rolling onto the banister. It just looked like it was really difficult. So this is a good bonfire to tag because it means you're not going to have to do the Duke skip again. So particularly if you're not confident in your Duke skip, then you definitely want to grab this as quickly as possible. So coming up to doing the Crystal Caves, there's two main guys that you're going to have to get past. First one's very easy, second one I find very hard. So with the first guy, you want to jockey to the left and then duck to the right. He'll commit to that attack on the left, so then you just go around him on the right. It's very easy. Then we fall down to save some time. With the second guy, I think he's the Golden Golem, and he has an incredible jump attack, which the hitbox is absurd, and it will knock you off. And the ledge has a natural slide to it anyway, which pushes you towards the right. It's like it's just awful. How did they not pick that up in QA? But it's Dark Souls. So this is first guy coming up. So we're gonna jockey to the left and then duck to the right, and that will get us past. So we're going to do a drop down here. Part of the reason we want to drop down is because we'll have to heal afterwards, but we want to stack Humanity because Humanity is going to give us good curse resist, which we need to fight Seath. So up until this point, you really want to use Humanity as much as you can to heal. I like going into this with 10 Humanity if I can get it. So here, the slope pushes us to the right, and we're just going to, it was pretty easy to avoid, but we do a little roll just to be sure. Then drop down here. We don't need to kill the crystal lizards, and then this is pretty straightforward. There's 2 approaches to doing Seath. You can either use the no clam strat, where you kite all the clams and then run into the boss room, or you can do the quit and reload strat, which is what we'll do because it's a little bit easier. So Here, just run down the middle. I normally go to the left of this guy. Yeah, there we go. So you can go to the left, and you should be able to go to the left of him here. I think going to the right is a mistake. I think it's faster, but much riskier. Then we go in, and as soon as you get to the haze, the boss fight will activate. Now the problem is you'll have clams in the room, which you don't want to have to deal with. So we break the crystal to make Seath vulnerable, and then we quit out and reload. When we get back in, go forward and go straight into the fog gates so that the clams don't attack you. Now the advantage of this strat is that it's easier. The downside is when you shatter the crystal, Seath gets staggered, and that's a really good time to attack him, and we don't get that benefit here. But you can only really do that. You can only really do that if you're going to do no clams, because otherwise you're going to get clams in the room. So generally with Seath, the attack you need to be most scared of is the one he just did there. You can see his hands shaking, so keep your camera angled up and you'll see his hands shake as he's about to do his explosion. This is not a good Seath fight. I'm so greedy here, it's unbelievable. So in general with Seath, run in, hit 2 or 3 times, and then run out, he'll do an attack, and then you go back in. Like, do not do what I did. That was so greedy. So here, because we've rested on the way, it's not much faster to bone out. So we're gonna warp up to Firelink next. And next up, we're gonna take on Pinwheel, and we're gonna take on Nito.
Sorry for enough.
Okay, so for this section here, the first guy most often does a jumping attack, just shield up and push through. Try to fall just down on the low section here, and hopefully you'll fall, I didn't land it there, but hopefully you'll fall on the top of the mound and it stops you having that pause when you land. We need to go in and activate the switch to flip the spikes on the bridge. So you're invulnerable while you're on the switch, so run straight to the switch, and then I personally quit out. So I don't think there's a time saving, because you lose 3 seconds standing up here. But it resets the skeletons outside, which means you don't get blocked in this doorway, so that's why I do it. When you're exiting that room, the Pyromancer will shoot at you. Just run in a little L so that you're running sideways when he shoots and you shouldn't get hit. Here, just take it all on the shield. And then you want to come up to this lip, line yourself up with the ledge, and then just roll down. As long as you don't get clipped by the skeletons in midair, you should be okay. Then here, walk forward and roll off to the right. And then we're going to heal up, and then we're going to try and get past the bone wheels. So for the bone wheels, you can hear them coming and you can see them. You just want to run back on yourself anti-clockwise, and you should be able to avoid them. For the pinwheel fight, if you're double handing, you can do pinwheel in 3 hits. So what I tend to do is I tend to run at him, launch my first hit, and then lock on to line it up, because you can take your finger off the run button. We drop him pretty quickly. Here, there's a little trick. If you press start, and then once the Rite of Kindling comes up, press circle and then X. So circle to get rid of the start menu, and then X to jump on. And it allows you to get onto the ladder before that wall has moved out the way. So next we get to how to do Tomb of the Giants. So you can follow the first 3 prism stones, then hug the wall on the right and get past the dog. The big skeleton. Then you want to run towards the light and jump. This will get you onto a slope, and then it will get you onto a sloping coffin. And here is our safety bonfire. So if you want a bonfire here, then just double back on yourself, drop down, and you can rest here for this fight. This is mostly going to be if you're not confident with doing Nito. Odds are you've still got 5 Estus, so you're not going to get more Estus for it, and I imagine you probably don't have enough souls for a level. But if you're not confident with Nito or with getting to Nito, then it's a good place to rest. So here, you run past patches, hug the wall, and make sure you hug it tight, and you'll be able to avoid the skeletons that come up prior to the fog gate. With the fog gate, once you go through, you want to run straight to the right, and then you drop down and roll to the right. Then you've got to get past this big guy, and then if you can, you make this jump. Once you've made the jump, you get to the end and drop down, and then you need to make one more drop onto the path and you're done. Try not to hug the wall on the right here, because it will bump you off the path. And that's how we do Tomb of the Giants. Once again, I learnt that from watching speedruns, and Ubergus Mage has a tutorial on it as well, which is what I watched to get that. And then I just used the save file trick, so I did pinwheel, and then quit the game, marked my save file as read only, and then just kept practicing that over and over. So it's a really easy way to practice segments of the game. And then when you're ready to resume, you just untick the read only box on the save file. So for there, you can mostly just run through everything, keep your shield up. Here, you'll get blasted twice. I was a little too eager, I should have waited a little bit longer. So then you just walk off the edge, come up here, roll through the twigs, and we're ready to go. So the challenging thing with the Nito fight is his Gravelord sword, that spell there. I'm super bad at dodging that in stone armor, so I get hit by it an awful lot, unfortunately, and it will make you toxic, which does do enough damage to your health to be worrisome. So you could try and dodge that and then equip your armor later, or you could just get good. But yeah, so we hang out here to bring Nito to us so that we don't have to deal with the big skeletons. Nito, very much like Four Kings, you're just going to tank the whole lot. You want to get your 3 or 4 swings off for your health bar, and then you want to let your health recharge. Nito will do explosions. I tend to just take them on the shield, and then you get back in. I generally find if you're facing Nito head on, then you get really consistent hits on him. But obviously he will try and mess you up, and I feel like it makes him do this explosion a lot more. And this is like one of the worst attacks, unfortunately. But if I go around to his side or try and hit him from behind, I often find that I completely miss. His hitbox just doesn't extend out to where you think it's going to. Yeah, so here we've got enough time to go and rest at the bonfire, and because we rested on the way down, if we did bone out, we wouldn't be boning out to Firelink, unfortunately. So yeah, here we can just rest, and then we can walk back to Firelink, and next up we're going to do the Demon Ruins. Cool, so that's the end of the section. So next up will be the final section, where we'll take on the Demon Ruins and then kill Gwyn. Thanks for watching.